It's on the bench and I'm looking at it fairly closely. It's a very heavy piece of cherry. We're looking at 17 inches by about 16 inches across, so going to get around about a 14 to 15 inch bowl turn on this one, and probably want it around the 4-inch depth mark, depending on how much of this heartwood that I can keep, and the burl structure too. Anyway, get it shaped up on the bone saw first and then onto the lathe. To say this is a very large piece of wood is an understatement. It is very, very big. We can see here there's quite a bit of a burl structure going on this side of the piece, and there's a couple of branch, very punky pieces here. So I'm going to get this nice and round. I won't bore you with the chunk as we go around. I'll make it so it's speed it up so we can get this bowl on the outside at least looking like something, and we can look at the grain structure. So stick with me. Well, I've got to say the Hunter Tools roughing gouge is getting a bit of punishment, but it's coming up kind of round, as you see, and I've got some very nice looking figure going on here with this burl. I'm not going to leave any voids in this one. It's plenty big enough for me to take it down. So I've got another inch or so to go, particularly the spark, and the sapwood here has to be removed. Looking good, going to keep going. Now I've got a fairly large and meaty tenon on the bottom of this bowl because this weighs a ton. As you can see, and if you haven't already deduced, that this has been an exceptionally wet piece of wood, and that's what I've been turning just lately, soaking wet wood. But I'm not complaining. This has got some very nice burlish figure that was really hidden under the bark, and the exterior. Going to take most of this down, and of course the voids. I don't want to leave those behind this time. Just get the camera to zoom out a little bit here. Yeah, so the void here, I'm going to be that's going to dissipate altogether. Fairly deep curve on the outside with getting the bowl turned around. We want the truck to be able to secure this bowl and have it turning as it's turning now quite smoothly. Alright, onwards. Now, since the outside of the bowl is pretty well as I like it, there are quite a few very large. This one in particular, if you can see from that side, a rotting pith from a branch, and the pith main branch is here. Anything goes on when you're dealing with burls, because it's quite a science really on how it all operates. So half of the bowl is a burl and the other half is plain. And there's lots of little minute cracks coming through here. So I'm going to turn the inside of the bowl. Normally I would use my one way to make a bowl within a bowl, so take out most of the core here. But since it's burl, it doesn't really hang together once we get through from here. So my experience is that once you're starting doing a bowl within a bowl, she starts cracking up from the inside to the out. So we'll see how we go with the inside. Now the outside of the bowl has got where I really need it to be. I'm seeing quite a lot of piths from branch fixtures, and one in particular, this one's rotted out to the core. Just here, if you can see it, just over the horizon on your camera there. There's not much I can do with that. It goes pretty deep, so not really going to do with this here. I may have to fill it with some epoxy on that side. But I'm going to core out the centre of the bowl now. I'm not going to do a bowl within a bowl using my coring tool, but that has happened before with a burl where it cracks and falls apart. So this bowl is probably, most of it is burl, the other half, well, this section over here is just a plain, but we've got a pith to deal with too, so it's not something I would want to save the inside for. So I'm going to core out, going to turn out the inside of the bowl now. Now I'm using another Hunter's tool, roughing tool. It's great for the inside of bowls. It's a carbon tipped cupped tool. It does actually bring off shavings and keeps the inside of the surface fairly smooth, but you really got to use a bowl gouge once you've finished doing this. But this is quite a meaty little tool. Now, as you can see, this tool really does take out the meat very, very quick. Now, I'm just a bit still concerned about this. Got to bring it around to the bottom of the bowl here. Yeah, there's a a void on the outside of the bowl that's kind of very, very punky, and it's going to go all the way through. So we'll see how this goes. We'll keep going. Well, it's looking pretty good on the inside now as well as the outside. We've got the Burl configuration transferring from the ins to the out. It goes right the way forward. This puckiness down here is a concern. I've put some CO glue on the outside, probably on the inside as well, to stabilise that. It's something I could actually remove all the way through and have a gigantic hole through the side of the bowl, which is not something I'd really like to see. Anyway, we'll keep going. It's getting thinner and thinner on the walls. Inside now finished, with a lot of issues and problems with cracks. I mean, this is a wet piece of wood. There's certainly no drying out. And atop that, we've got several small and one large pith. So the actual bowl itself is under a lot of stress because the piths and the very tight grains, it wants to unravel like a spring. Now I have stabilised most of that with CA glue and sawdust to fill some of these cracks, and I'm going to use just the traditional finishing on this, the Acks paste and polish, and I may even put a poly finish, but I'm thinking about it at the moment. We'll see how it goes. For now, it's going to be a lot of sanding, so I'll be back when it's done. There's the finished result. A nice outside bowl. This thing is very, very heavy still. We're around about 10 pounds. It is 16 inches in diameter and 5.5 inches deep. That's the bottom. You can see very, very clearly here. It's half Burl, cherry Burl, and just plain cherry. Very, very close to the bark wood. Some very small here. That was a bit of a troublesome thing. Stabilised it with CA glue and some sawdust and filled those gaps on the inside. It's just as nice as you can see from that. I did seal this in the end with the Clean Armour sealer and also the gloss. It came out well, and because the wood is very, very wet still, it is completely round, but I'm not sure how long that's going to be. This is going to be part one of 2 parts. I've got around 3 to 4 of these types of bowls I've used that product on to see if it makes any difference in terms of holding moisture into the bowl. Stay tuned to that, lads. Next week. See ya.